Real True Education, not fake news. It's the 6th of July 2022. This is electricity for 46Q lies and spin. It should be really electricity price, but electricity, we leave it like that. Lies and spin. And how this is the only channel that gives you the truth about electricity prices in Ireland. Now, if you go back to the very beginning of my videos, if you go back to the very beginning of my videos, I made part 1 or clip 4, sorry, part 1, 2 and 3 was about technical matters, but part 4 or clip 4 on the myth about wind farming talked about the price, and I did a video there which I urge you to go back to look at. It's a video clip 4, and it's at the very beginning. Now we just see, we can get it up here. There it's there, folks. Do you see it there? See that? That's the one you're looking for, right? Okay, now, so anyway, if I didn't welcome you back on this lovely evening, it's a nice evening. There's sun over there, and the sky is clear, but there's a chill in the air. There's going to be no real hot weather, in my opinion, this year. We're now facing into the winter chill, although it's lovely to be out, just lovely. But you'd need a jacket. I needed a jacket on. Now, what I want to show you here now is that I predicted in that video that the standard price of electricity for wholesale from suppliers, coal, oil and gas, was 57 euros per megawatt hour. A megawatt is 1,000 kilowatts. 57 euros per megawatt hour, 76 for wind as a guaranteed price. And then we're going to look at what I claim is now the sky is the limit. So we're going to see the deal that is made about this and how it impacts the prices. Now, we look at this bottle, a simple bottle of water with a bit of lime in it, and we see that we're starting off here with very little price. The price, this is the price in euros, so we've a very low price. So the first thing we're going to do now is add enough. So at the minute, the guaranteed price for wind is 76, was always, and this here was the average price. So we're going to bring the price up to what the average was over the last 10 years. Okay. So the price is determined by the price of coal, oil and gas, mainly. So now we see it here. As the price goes to, you see it there, as the price goes to 57, the wind energy companies get 76. That's a guaranteed price. That's a premium price. That's a grant or an extra incentive, okay? So now what we're going to do now, you understand that. Now, there's a lot of people simply do not understand that. They can't get their head around that. There's a certain number of people who simply can't do that. I've spent hours trying to explain this to people, and they don't understand it. The average price of the last 12 years was about 57 cents. That's as I said in the video. And the guaranteed price was 76. But last week in the Irish Times newspaper, you'll get it there, government considering placing a tax on wind energy. Now, why would they be putting a tax in these situations? And I'm going to hopefully explain to you why they're considering a tax. Now, in that article in the Irish Times, they quote the very same figure as me. I think it's 56.5 or something, almost the same. I was dead on 12 years ago. They quote this price, 76, as the premium price for wind energy. Now actually it's 69.5, but there's a bit on top of it, brings it up to 76. And if you Google that article, you'll see 69. That's the price before these extras. These are kind of an incentive charge on top of the price per megawatt hour, and it brings it up to an average of 76. And this is precisely shows you how accurate my figures were so long ago. So now we see here, folks, that the price of electricity here is 57. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add now, bring the price up. So the price is 57 for coal, oil and gas, conventional power. And the wind companies get 76 to incentivize them. So we're now going to see what happens in times like now when the price of coal, oil and gas increases. So now we're on a power. Now we have a situation where the conventional generators, the coal, oil and gas, get 76 and the wind farms get the same. So you see the wind farms have a guaranteed price. Okay, now we're going to go on now and not noisy dog. Anyway, now we're going to now increase the price due to the price of fuel. Now you might think that the price of wind energy would stay the same, that it would stay the same. So we're going to put all this in this jug up. So we'll say now it's at 120 there. What does the wind energy companies get? They get the same as the coal, oil and gas. They get the 120. That's why they're in it. If the price of fuel picked up, they're going to clean up. So, and this is in the paper. So we go on and try to add more and more. So now here we have a price of possibly 150. And the wind energy company get the 150. They don't get the guaranteed price. The guaranteed price is the stable price. They get this always. But if the price of oil and fuel goes up, they get the higher cost. Okay? Now, so many people do not understand that. And so many people do not want to believe they were shafted by their own government in this way. So now we're going to bring the price up to fill the bottle. I'm going to bring it up to, say, 250 euros per megawatt hour. That's it. And here's your price now, 250, right? The wind company does not get this or the average price or anything like that. The wind company gets this price. They get the full price. And it's in that article in the Irish Times recently, the cost of electricity was 360 euros per megawatt hour, and the wind companies get it. But the other thing about this, folks, is it doesn't matter how high the price of fossil fuel, coal, oil and gas electricity goes. If it were to go to, we'll say a ridiculously high price, if it was to go to 25,000 a megawatt hour, which would put electricity beyond the reach of everybody except the super rich, and they'd use generators. The wind company gets the full price. It gets the full price, which means that when they did the deal on the refit scheme, renewable energy feed-in tariff, when they did the deal on this, they ensured that while the wind got a premium price when oil prices was low, as the price of oil and gas and coal increased, they got the increased price. And they lied to us to tell us that wind would bring down the cost of electricity, and they're still lying. Our Minister for Environment, Eamon Ryan, lied on this and hasn't corrected it. Nobody in government and nobody in the Dáil has explained this. It doesn't matter how high the coal, oil and gas gets, how extraordinary high it gets, wind gets the same. And it's such a ridiculous situation now that the minister and the government are considering having to tax them to get back some money to the exchequer. Now don't forget, the whole idea was that you as a consumer paid for your electricity, the government got their VAT and they kept out of it. But what's happening now is the government is subsidising your electricity bills to the taxpayers' bills, okay? And now they're talking about taxing them. But just consider it. I hope some of you can understand this. They set the guaranteed price in such a way that no matter how high conventional generation went, coal, oil and gas, no matter how expensive it became, wind got the same price. So the claim that wind energy was a balancer, that it was an alternative to oil and gas and coal, was a lie. It wasn't a misinformation, it was a lie. They lied. And I told every one of the Dáil people, well, I told at least half, and all the major parties this. I told Sinn Féin, 2 of them. I met them all. I met Fianna Fáil. I met Eamon O'Keefe. I met that Dempsey chap up in Meath there. Not Dempsey. What do you call him? Sorry, Damien English. I just couldn't think of it there. I met several of them. I even emailed the Leo Varadkar before he became a Taoiseach. They all know this. They all knew this. They were told about it. You see what they did? They just did what the wind energy company said. They gave them a guaranteed price based on fossil fuel, and deluded and lied to the people to believe that this, no matter what happened to fossil fuel, we'd get a regular supply of wind energy whenever it's available or whatever good it does at 76 cents. That was the implicit story. Wind will bring down the cost of electricity. It's already the cheapest form of electricity. That is a lie spun by all of the newspapers, by RTE, by media newspapers the world over. That's a lie. Wind cannot bring down the cost of electricity because in Ireland, and it's somewhat similar in the UK, wind gets the price of fossil fuel. Wind gets the price of fossil fuel, irrespective of how high the price of fossil fuel goes. Wind does not get a guaranteed price. Wind gets the fossil fuel price until the fossil fuel price drops below 76 and they stick at 76, whereas you'll hear it in the paper, oh, we got reductions because the price of fuel came down, but you don't get any reduction in your wind energy part of your bill. All right. Now I'm not getting into what good the wind does. Now I hope that gets that clear. That is not reported anywhere. No other periodical or anything has ever published that simple fact, and I'm showing it here with this bottle of limey water. Right. Again, to finish off, the floor price for electricity is 76. It's usually, for the last 12 years, the price of oil and gas and coal was below that. So wind energy got the premium price and they still couldn't make a living. Now the price has gone up with the Ukraine situation, has driven away up, and people might think, oh well, we have wind there, at least it's at the same price. No, wind gets the full price, the full generating price of fossil fuel electricity. And if you go on to EirGrid Smart Dashboard, you can see the prices any given day, and you can see how much wind there's in the system and all of that. Now I claim it doesn't work the way they're saying it. It doesn't dispense with fossil fuel. But I hope, folks, that little bit of information, that there's nowhere in the whole world that is explained. I'm the only channel to consistently explain this from 2011, and now after all those years, how many long is that? That's 2011. That's 11 years, heading on 12 years. After all of that, I've been proven right, and only one person in every 300 or 400 even has a grasp of that at all. The average person in the street doesn't have a clue what we're talking about, but it's very simple. I'll reiterate it. The average price for the last 11 and a half years or 12 was about 57 cents for conventional fossil fuel generation wholesale. At that stage, the wind companies got 76 euros. If I said 57 cents here, I meant euros. 57 euros per megawatt hour, which works out at 5.5 cents per kilowatt hour for domestic unit. The wind companies got 76 per megawatt hour, or works out at about 7.6 per kilowatt hour unit, domestic unit. Okay, you see the difference. So they got this bit as a premium. But as the price of fossil fuel increases and the price of fossil fuel generated electricity, this does not stay at 76, and there is no little bit extra or anything else. They get the full fossil fuel price for their wind energy, which means the more and more wind energy goes into the system, the more you're going to have to pay. So you have a duplicate system. You have wind and you have conventional, and you pay the full conventional price irrespective of what its source is. Folks, I hope that's explained fairly good. That's long enough. If you have any questions, ask me underneath. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. This is a scandal. We have been shafted. We have been sold down the river by our governments. With this, the wind energy people wrote the rules and they gave it to them. And there's other payments as well, such as when they have to switch them off when they can't use it and all that. But that simple fact should go viral. There is no reason why everyone wouldn't want to know how they were sold down the river, and the corruption of the politicians and the Department of Energy officials who signed up to this, and all of the other stakeholders and public bodies who linked the vast amounts of useless, in my opinion, wind energy that Ireland has to the price of coal, oil and gas. That is absolutely mad. Folks, again, give me a thumbs up and a thumbs down, and I'll see you back for something else. Bye.